Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Please be joined by the one, the only Jack Hendrix of Oxford football. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. So, how is the off season going, and what have you been up to?
It's been going pretty good. We've just been doing a lot of like throwing stuff on the weekends with the team. And then obviously we're in the legacy 7-on-7 high school thing, so it's been pretty good so far. A lot of work.
Okay. Just for reference, do you play any other sports, Jack?
Yeah, I play baseball.
Okay. How and that seems to be going pretty well too.
Yeah, it's been going pretty good so far.
Okay. So really just talk about what you've kind of learned so far as a QB, as you kind of maybe the guy next year taking over this thing.
Yeah, so last year, obviously I started off the year from the start, and we had a pretty good year. But obviously adjusting to varsity is a tough thing. So it was super fast at first. So I just had to take a couple games to get used to it. But I think by the end, everything flowed pretty smoothly.
Did you have your welcome to varsity football moment?
Um, probably last year. First, like my first throw of my season last year was first game against Ike. I threw one and I got destroyed. I got
Yeah.
smoked by like a linebacker. And that was
Okay.
definitely my welcome to varsity moment. I
What
got
was your what was the biggest thing that you learned last year?
the biggest thing I learned was probably moving on to the next play. Not hanging your head on one drive because like you could make a bad play on one drive and then the next drive come back, throw a touchdown, and nobody remembers anything you did on the drive before. It's probably just leaving stuff in the past and moving on.
Yeah, it's just like, as a quarterback, you have to, you're the guy that everybody looks to. If you're not with it, they're not going to be with it. So
Yeah.
how have you kind of handled it from that side? Because you're not just representing you, you're representing your entire program and your entire community too.
Yeah. Probably just having a short memory. Like not letting my play deflect on others. If you make a bad play, come to the sideline, you're pissed off, then it's just gonna bring everybody down. But if you come to the sideline, you're hyped, you're like, let's go get the next one. I think it brings everybody up. So I think it's just probably staying up, keeping your energy up, making sure like everybody's good.
Okay. Um, what was your best moment from last year?
My favorite moment from last year was probably our Stony Creek game.
Okay.
Had a really good game, and it was like our first OA win in like 2 years. So it was a cool moment.
I know that, your division is basically, full of teams that are probably heavy hitter contenders that have played in state championship
Yeah,
games or have won, or actually take that back. All of them have won state championships or have
yeah.
been in the state championship game. What's that like to get all that experience to play teams like Lake Orion, West Bloomfield, Clarkston, and Rochester Adams?
I like it because I feel like every game's like a big game. It's not like you're going to play like a random team in a random week and it's like, oh, this is gonna just be a blowout. I feel like every game's a big game. And I also feel like it helps a lot with the playoffs because you're always gonna be playing good teams. So if you're playing good teams during the regular season, really preparing yourself.
I don't know if you know this, but every game that you play is a big game. Or, I
Yeah.
mean, every game is important, just so you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, what I mean by that is like going into, those games where, remember, like every team is a good team, but how do you handle like, playing against, bigger opponents, but also playing against maybe opponents that that could get you every single week. It doesn't really matter. It's
Yeah.
what's that like to just kind of play all these different types of teams that you play throughout the season?
Um, Obviously it's tough. I think you always gotta stay prepared. Just be ready for anything. I think one of the hardest parts of it is like you're like one week you have a great game and then you're looking to the next week and you're like, oh, like we got West Bloomfield now. It's like, but I think the biggest part is just preparing during the week and getting ready to go.
Yeah. When did you know that you wanted to be a quarterback?
Probably so when I was like 4, I played in a flag football league and I was the only person that could like hold the ball. So my dad kind of just forced it upon me. And then in like fifth grade, I like started loving playing quarterback because I got the ball every play.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um, to go into the you're going into your junior season. Um, I know. Are you just kind of what are some of the goals that you have for this summer? I know you're in the Legacy 7-on-7 league, which of course you just got done with the first week. But
yeah.
what are your goals for these next 3 weeks of that, and then heading into team camps, workouts, and eventually getting ready for the big year ahead?
Um, I'd say my main goal with the Legacy 7-on-7 is probably just making sure like everything's cleaned up before camp so I can just get a head start on everything. Make sure I'm going into summer smooth. So making sure I got my reads like dialed in and all that stuff. Make sure I'm seeing the defense well. And then as like a team standpoint, I would say just like making sure everybody's ready. Make sure everybody's caught up. Nobody's because like obviously the people coming up from JV last year, make sure like nobody's behind. Just make sure everybody builds up together.
Okay, let's get in Jack's head for a second here. Um, how do you mentally get ready for a game?
Before a game. So before a game, every game I get tropical smoothie. I go and get some food, and then I go sit in my locker and I watch film. Kind of relax, try and watch some film, and then about like 20 minutes before the game, I'll just listen to music, try and get my mind off it a little bit.
Okay. I must ask, what is on Jack's playlist?
My playlist. Here, I'll read my top song.
Okay.
I have a football playlist actually.
Oh, yeah, nice.
My top song is "Search and Rescue" by Drake.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Um, okay. What are your, I know obviously you guys got a lot of returners coming back from last year.
yeah,
I know a lot of positive gains were made this past season, of course, with you guys getting in the playoffs.
yep.
What was that like to accomplish, and how do you feel like you guys can build off of that in
I
2020?
think I think it was great because the year before, obviously, we had a rough season. A lot of young guys. We went 1-8. And then last year it was really just grinding through it because we started off 1-4, and then obviously we pulled it together and went like I think it was 3-1.
Yeah,
And I think that really helped us, and especially because we got all the guys coming back. I think this year mainly is to start off strong because a lot of times we'll drop a couple games at the start and then have to pick it up at the end. I think the main goal is to start hot this year and just take it from there.
yeah, for sure. All right. All right, Jack. Time to get to know you a little bit. How about that?
All right, let's go.
Okay, so who is your favorite player growing up?
My favorite player growing up, Jabril Peppers. I'm a big Michigan fan, so I love watching him play.
Okay. Favorite, let's see. Favorite food.
My favorite food, probably wings.
Okay. What is your all-time favorite movie?
Miracle on Ice. I love that movie.
All right. Um, let's see. Um, best moment from your football career, you think?
Best moment from my football career. I think so. We played U of D in so we were, I think, 4-5. We played U of D in our regular season game and we
Yeah,
clinched the playoffs. So I think that was probably because they were really good. They came in 6-1 and we beat them at home and got a big field rush and everything. And that's how we clinched the playoffs. So I think that was probably the best moment.
yeah. And what is something people do not know about you, Jack?
Some people don't know about me.
And what's an interesting fact people don't know about you?
I don't really know. I don't think I have one.
Or what's an interesting fact maybe the audience wouldn't guess about you?
That I like country music. I don't know.
Yeah, people would not know that
Yeah,
unless you
I
said
like
it.
country.
Okay, nice. All right. All right. Well, Jack, thanks for the time as always. We'll catch up with you just before the season starts.
All right. Thank you.
All right, sounds good.